Make no mistake about it, my friends. Make no mistake about it. This is the final frontier, the final battle. This is it. This is a political Armageddon. This is our eschatological last stand for liberty, for our justice, for who we are. And I want you to understand something. Do not lose faith. Do not freak out. Do not react to everything they are doing. These are people who are so monumentally desperate. You have a group of people from the, I guess, from the radical left, from the woke, from the Democrats, whoever these people are, who have to explain to their folks, their constituents, how did you ever let this woman get into power in the first place? So they're saying, oh, no, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, yes, everything is fine. You think so? Oh, yes, we've got it. And they're trying their best to make you think, for whatever reason, that everything is terrific, that they've done everything wonderfully, that there's no reason for you to be concerned, none whatsoever. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything. Everything is just fine. They are so freaked out. Do not respond to every little thing, every statement that is made. Do not respond to every story that they are trying to throw out about how great things are, about the momentum. Do not fall for this. You are smarter than this. You are wiser than this. They are at a level of desperation. And by the way, not only is it happening here, we're seeing other changes. Jeff Bezos, for the first time, they eat their own. He set up Washington Post and they're coming after him. You're telling a billionaire what he can and can't do. You're having these little these wastrels, these nobodies, these inconsequential reporters daring to tell him, you'd better start endorsing again or we're going to leave. He says, fine. Jeff Bezos says, I lost $77 million last year. I don't care about this. You're not going to tell me what to do. Elon Musk has been absolutely incredible. So let me make sure we understand a few things. Ladies and gentlemen, first, I've got some things we're going to go through very, very carefully today because of the information that we have now, which we didn't have. Remember, there was no Elon Musk and X in Twitter in 2016 and 2020. This is brand new. There is a level. It's like somebody basically broke through this clog, this bezoar, and allowed people for the first time to come forward and say, wait a minute. I'm seeing something different. Every single thing that has happened, every single event regarding these rallies that are breaking every rule, every record, all of them are now able to be seen firsthand. So sit back. I've got a lot to show you that I hope you're seeing because everything I'm showing you is available right now. Let me remind you, dear friends, please to make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure you are paying attention, like this, hit the like button. It is so important for us to recognize the fact that we represent millions of people, millions who are like-minded folks. And the only way for them to come forward is to listen to us. Let me also remind you of our product, our sponsor, our great friends at preparewithlionel.com. My friends, I think I've told you this. I think I've been very, very clear, not in order to freak you out or to scare you, but to tell you the truth. I don't know what they're going to be doing. I can't tell you right now. But if you think these people are going to just walk away from this, if they're just going to hand over power and say, thank you, you won this fair and square, you're out of your mind. The only way they are going to win, the only way they are going to win, the only way they're going to win is for them to accelerate and to orchestrate catastrophe. Catastrophe. Something that freaks you out. They are not, either way, they're not losing power. They may not be in office, but they don't have to be in office to destroy things. Most of the horrors that we are seeing today were created in 2016 during the first term of the Trump administration. Think about this. It was then when he won. That set the standard. It's when they are pushed into a corner. Prepare with Lionel.com. Before the conflagration, before the fires of destruction, before this catastrophe has begun. Right now, you need to take an inventory and find out how you are prepared to handle disaster. I'm not trying to be melodramatic. I'm telling you the truth. Prepare with Lionel.com. All right, dear friends, let's go back to a few things, shall we? Let me see if we can do things. First, I want to show you some things which are very, very critical. First, let me thank you. And also thank you for letting me start an hour early today. Mrs. L and I have some endeavors that we would like to, which don't matter, but I don't want to in any way blow this off. This is too critical, especially days before the election. Let me give you an idea of what is available on X or Twitter that you must, if you are a patriot, you must be a part of this.
Let us know, and you could receive a reward up to $50,000. Preserve the vote, protect the ballot, save a...
Let's try this one more time.
The only poll that matters is the one on election day, and the only ballots that matter should be the ones cast legally. We're fed up with the fraud, fed up with the media's lies, and fed up with elections being unfair and unfree. But the good news is, American Rights Alliance is doing something about it. And even better, your help could get you paid. So keep your eyes open, be aware of what's happening, and if you have vital information about voter fraud, let us know. And you can receive up to a $50,000 reward for...
Isn't this something how all of a sudden you're seeing people, when you see something, these are a bounty. These are basically bounties for you to report that which you should be reporting anyway.
Information leading to the arrest and conviction of vote cheats. Yes, that's right. Up to a $50,000 reward. Together, we're stopping the fraud once and for all, but we need your help. So again, if you have information about voter fraud, let us know, and you could receive a reward up to $50,000. Preserve the vote.
Let me see what we've got here. I want you to see this right now. Here we go. This is President Trump. Watch this here. Watch it. Let me say this again. We didn't have this before. These people are going out of their way to make you never say vote fraud, stealing, in any event. There is a law that says on the books today that says you cannot take a picture of your ballot. You can't. Did you know this? You can't. And the reason why is to prevent you from selling your vote and then proving it later on. These statutes were done prior to, cell phones and the like. The laws are still in effect. The laws are still valid. So there are specific, you can't tell people, you can't ask people. There are very strict election rules, which for the most part have been just ignored altogether. Do yourself a favor. They're going to come after people. I'm telling you, the same people who went after Rudy Giuliani. And I shouldn't say Rudy. Well, Rudy to an extent, but also President Trump for 34 counts. Nobody understands. So just be aware of that. Check this out. Excellent production. Biblical.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Remember that date. Remember that date. Now, we're not going to play the whole thing for you. I'm just going to give you kind of an overview of what's available out there. All of this, go to X or Twitter. You can look up in that. I start off every day to find out what is the latest. Go under the magnifying glass section. Go under news. And the best is follow what Elon Musk is posting. Watch what Elon Musk is posting. excellent production. We never had this before. Let me stop right there. I don't think I can explain enough to you. This is Trump has been portrayed constantly. This may be the the only thing that people see. People don't go to movies. People don't read newspapers. They don't read websites. This is what people watch. Excellent production. Have you ever seen anything like this for Kamala? Never. Nothing. She always talks about other people. Big difference. There's his father. There's Trump. Mom and dad. Interesting enough, Trump does not really change drastically. His hair gets lighter or changes color. There may be some degrees of change, but for the most part, he's almost like Benjamin Button in a weird way. This was wife number 1. By the way, Ivana was critical to him. Remember this. He's a very smart dude. There's his family. Say what you want about his family. You don't get into trouble. Look at that face. Look at that punum. Look at this. Look at the excellence of this. The man you don't know. This is the genius. You know how many people see this? I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I just want to show you a couple of things. Look at that.
To watch the onslaught of the media, the attacks on my father, the abject lies. It is an onslaught unlike anything I've ever seen before.
The media makes my grandpa seem like a different person, but I know him for who he is.
Compare her, and I hate to say this, and I don't want to be, but compare her, Kaya, whatever, to Emma, the tatted model who weighs 80 pounds, who is some whatever it's called.
Donald Trump is a great threat to our democracy.
Donald Trump is the greatest threat.
Okay, you've seen this before, okay? Now, understand. Let me explain to you again why this is important. I care only about the proliferation of information. And when information is the subject of proliferation and dissemination, it has to be information that is deemed cool, that is deemed acceptable, that is deemed popular, that is deemed okay. And how do people get it? In 2016 and 2020, we did not have this. You don't have to get out of bed. You don't have to go anywhere. Your phone has this information. I say this again to you. You never see this regarding Kamala. Never. Let me say this again. You've never heard anything about how it's very funny. Their past is a very strange thing. You don't want her to know how she came from nowhere. She hooked up with 2 men, Willie Brown and Montel Williams. She almost was. In a very interesting thing, if you look at J-Lo and if you look at her, J-Lo was Diddy and Kamala is Willie. There's a very similar story. Not that J-Lo's without talent, and I'm not, but look at what's happening. Look at how this happens. You don't hear anything about her. You see a picture of, it's just like when Barack Obama and Michelle, you saw a picture, maybe there's like 3 pictures you show. Picture of when he was maybe at Harvard, maybe. You never saw her. You just didn't, their past, they just popped out of nowhere. Trump's story is a story that you've been watching forever, chronicled, loved. People know who she is. But to many people, or he is rather, to many people, he's still brand new. Let me show you something else which is interesting. In no particular order. One of the things which they do, which is something that everybody should understand, and I wish that our side, whatever that is, would do, the art of the lie. Say something, over and over and over. Let me give you an example. I have loved the notion of mythology. And I love an old expression. It's an epistemological suggestion that says, how do you know what you know? How do you know this? You are saying things, you will say things, we've said things for the longest time that we really don't understand why we say it. We really don't understand it. We don't grasp it. We don't understand it. There's a lot of stuff we simply do not understand. Okay? There are people who say that there's a connection between the full moon and 911 calls. There's never been a link at all regarding any of that. Never. But people say there is. When we were a kid, our parents told us, don't go swimming after you've eaten because you'll get cramps and you'll sink and you'll drown. You won't be able to swim because all of the blood is going to your viscera for digestion. Your extremities will cramp and you will die. You just say things, whether it's religion or science or history or 9/11 or Vietnam or World War II. You just say things. I've been fascinated. And if you question what you've been told, you are deemed heretical. You are deemed an apostate. Oh, it's most fascinating, dear friends. Most fascinating at levels I don't think anybody can truly understand. So one of the things that they do is they will say something. For example, the other day, Donald Trump said, and we talked about this last night regarding Liz Cheney. He never said she should be murdered or the subject of any kind of firing squad. He never said that. He has been saying what they have been saying for the longest time, especially when those of us who talk about neocons and warmongers and war profiteers. If you want to go to war so bad, do yourself and everybody a favor and go. If you want this so much, go. If you want to go to war, go. Get a gun and go. If you want to stand there and to hide in a foxhole, to have bullets flying past you, go. This is Victoria Nuland. This is people from the Institute for the Study of War. These are go. That's what he said. And he talked about her facing rifles and 9 in her face. It was a very inartful presentation, but that's nonetheless what he said. It's nonetheless what he said. Now, Bill Maher, interestingly enough, after he waited until after his, and I despise Bill Maher because Bill Maher is a phony and he'll do anything he can to stay in power. He's like Fredo Cuomo. They'll say anything they want. I will tell you one thing about a lot of the folks, up to and including, like, for example, Sean Hannity. He has never budged. I always give people credit for consistency. When people have said, this is what I believe in, I am telling you, I am the same person I have been my entire life. I swear to God. The world changes, but I'm the same person. Okay. Watch this very carefully. This is Bill Maher talking to somebody about this piece. Oops, wrong one. Pardon me. I'm so sorry. Here we go. This one. I want you to see this. I don't know why I think this is interesting, but it's a perfect example of lying.
Of the statement, I woke up today to the headline that Trump had called for a firing squad for Liz Cheney.
Remember, this is not during his main show, which I never watched. This was afterwards. Okay. So he said it, but not for general consumption.
And this is what I really don't like about the media. No, he didn't. He did not. You don't have.
Excuse me. It's not the media. And I'm sorry to keep stopping you. Please forgive me. But I'm not going to let this go by because it is not the media. We are the media. This is a part of the media. We are a medium. That is a part of the media. And we are not to be thrown into this batch.
Have to move me to not like Donald Trump.
He says
more
so
than I
many shitty
already-
things. Why do you have to
And
do
by
that?
the way,
Yeah.
if you Pete don't realize it, well, here's what he said. He's criticizing him for being a war hawk. I mean, she is Dick Cheney's daughter. He said, she's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay. Let's see how she feels about it. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, we'll send tens of thousands of troops right into the mouth of the enemy. Now, of course, he expresses himself horribly. He has to add she's a stupid person because he's a moron.
Trump knows what it's really like from Vietnam.
Okay.
This is Jamie Raskin, by the way. Jamie Raskin, remember something. Jamie Raskin is the enemy. But Jamie Raskin is a formidable enemy. Remember this. Listen to what the enemy says. Listen to what he's saying. They're doing everything in their power to discount this. We can learn from Jamie Raskin.
Just to be clear, this is exactly what hippies always said. This is exactly what peaceniks always said. This is Fortunate Son, the song. It's like, you know what? It's very easy to sit in your building and send young men to die.
Yes.
Apropos of Ukraine.
Yes.
Because, I don't know, that war doesn't look like it's going in the right direction.
Not at all, no.
But just so, you know, just don't lie to me. I don't like Donald Trump. Don't lie to me and tell me he wants in front of a firing squad. He was saying something that, by the way, if it came out of the mouth, some of it, not the stupid part, again, sounds like what hippies used to say.
Let me tell you something about him. This is the best part, and I want you to listen to me. Do you think I like Donald Trump? Do you think I'm voting for him because I like him? When we say like, for example, I like this. Like, what do you want on the menu? Well, I'll tell you, I like all right, grilled cheese. Do you like grilled cheese? Well, based upon the choices. This word like means that I admire, I'm a sycophant, I'm an acolyte, I'm a toady, a lickspittle, a bootlicker. I'm this obsequious, fawning disciple. No. See, this is what he's doing. These people try to keep their position in terms of, I want to play both sides against the middle. I recognize that there is an avalanche coming of people who are in support of this candidacy. So I want to be a part of them. But then again, I've got my lefties. I do live in Hollywood, and I can't say I like him. I want to be the reluctant. And these people don't have any, they're so simplistic. Let me say this again. I don't like or dislike. This has nothing to do with it. It may later on. This is about the direction of the country. This is not like or dislike. I have a crush on him or no. This is what they always do. And please do not mistake Jamie Raskin. Remember, he is the enemy. Listen to what he says.
But
Bill,
not sending people to... Yes.
I agree with you on the lying. I mean, that is ridiculous and absurd and counterproductive. But when did Donald Trump ever criticize a war hawk the way a hippie did? I mean, was it during Vietnam? He got out of going to Vietnam, but he didn't criticize
I'm not
the war
going
or
to
the Iraq
defend,
war.
Jamie,
Yeah.
I'm not defending Trump.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm with Raskin on this. And I will tell you, I don't think he's going here, but I'm going to tell you this. The Hawks, what they have done by giving a blank check to Israel and Ukraine. Wait a minute. What do you think about this? See, this is not entirely correct, but they're doing precisely the same thing. Now, understand something. While you and I can parse this and dissect and differentiate one from the other, that's groovy, wonderful, terrific, great. Doesn't matter. What's important to note and what's critical to note is that we are not like everybody else. I am not going to be one of these people. Put it this way. I have nothing to do with these women who sit around, these hot babes for Trump, who sit in the front car, their seat of their car, with low-cut dresses and I voted hot. No, we may seem like we're on the same page. We may be voting. My worldview is far more complicated. So understand something. Remember, get back. Imagine we're Customato. We're Angelo Dundee. We're watching the fights. We're watching the opposition. Don't take this personally. This is war. This is battle. This is an intellectual battle. Understand something. John Stossel and Elon Musk, by the way, put him on. John Stossel put together one of the best pieces, and you have to sometimes see it in a collage or in a collective to see how demented these people are. Watch this.
You just fell out of a coconut tree?
This is the one that still to this day makes me sick when I hear it. This is when people said, oh no, she really, and they knew it and we knew it, and they realized, oh my God, what does that mean? Coconut tree? I have no idea. Nobody had the slightest understanding. But watch this.
Who is Kamala Harris? She won't hold news conferences and rarely takes questions from reporters. Instead, she reads the same speech off teleprompter again and again.
Excellent.
The path to the White House runs right through this state.
Her campaign also releases carefully produced videos.
We believe in a future where every person has the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead.
That would be good. But would Harris's policies allow that?
This is excellent.
America's on track to bankruptcy.
The vice president votes in the affirmative.
Harris repeatedly casts tie-breaking votes to spend more of your money.
Unlocking the ability to pass a COVID relief package without Republican votes.
Last election, I ran a game show that compared candidates' spending plans. It found that Trump and Biden wanted to increase spending by more than $200 billion. Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders by trillions. But I was surprised that the biggest spending plans came from Kamala Harris.
Wow.
Her proposals would have exploded our debt.
The highest inflation in 41 years.
Biden's irresponsible spending ignited nasty inflation. Imagine what inflation would be like if Harris had been president. In her first policy speech, she's proposed almost $2 trillion in new spending.
Now, let me stop right there. Most people do not understand. Their heads, the numbers turn off. Trillion, billion, trillion, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't work. So, I mean, this may be great for you. Larry Kudlow may love this. Stossel may love it. But I'm telling you right now, the average American, they're tone deaf. It's white noise to them.
Provide first-time home buyers with $25,000.
This is ridiculous.
And $2 trillion small compared to what she wanted to do during COVID. Give every American $2,000 a month. That would have cost $21 trillion.
Think about what she just said. $2,000. Where is this coming from?
She's also endorsed eliminating private health insurance.
Did you hear that?
Having government take it all over. Even CNN anchors seemed puzzled.
So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it?
Well, listen, the idea is that everyone gets access to medical care.
Now,
see what she does? She doesn't answer the question. And Tapper, to not to his credit, doesn't follow through.
Her campaign says she no longer supports entirely government-run health.
Oh, there you go.
She's flip-flopped on other issues.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
No question, she told CNN.
Doesn't
but
believe
now
it.
Harris wants votes in Pennsylvania where fracking provides jobs. Her campaign now says she won't ban fracking. And they even say Republicans claiming she wanted a fracking ban is false, an obvious attempt to distract. But what's false? That's what she said.
Exactly.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah.
She also wanted to force gun owners to sell their guns to the government.
This is my favorite. How would you even do this? Can you imagine being in a system where you would send people out to pick up guns? Would you want to be the person who knocks on a door of somebody with a gun and force them to give the gun up? Think about that.
I support a mandatory buyback program.
Mandatory. But again, today,
A Harris campaign spokesperson tells us that the vice president would no longer require this.
So who is the real Kamala Harris? She used to brag about being a tough prosecutor against even the smallest offenses.
This is what, by the way, the black folks are. Who was it? Bobby Kennedy spoke to a woman who was put in prison or in jail for truancy when her daughter had to stay home for 60 days, got approval for sickle cell anemia, a straight A student. But California, they were losing billions of dollars because of truancy. And that's what motivated her, not education.
I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
She's
but
so
then
proud
when progressives said abolish the police, she flip-flopped. And during the George Floyd riots, when people were looting and setting fires, Harris tweeted, help post bail for those protesting. Now that the policing pendulum has swung back, she again brags about locking people up.
I took on perpetrators of all kinds.
During the 2019 Democratic debate, Tulsi Gabbard pointed out her hypocrisy.
Brilliant.
She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
That was true.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like
and I inhale. I did inhale.
Okay.
Another criticism of Harris is that she's nasty to people who work for her.
Oh, yeah.
Incredibly, there's been a 92% turnover on her staff.
Politico called her office abusive, an unhealthy environment. Now, if she were a hard-charging boss who got results, that might be okay. But we know what happened when Biden put her in charge of the border.
More than 302,000 migrants crossed the southern border.
Of course more people cross.
Look at this. Just stop for a second. Just take a picture of this. Just this is one segment, one fraction, one frame, one moment, 1 second, one little mosaic in this huge one tile, I should say, of this huge mosaic. Look at this.
Harris promised them free stuff.
Medicare for all to people who are in this country illegally?
I am opposed to any policy that would deny any human being
She never answers
public
a question.
education or public health, period.
Today, the legacy media want to protect Harris.
And you got to ask yourself, who is it? Who is it who really is pushing for this? Who are these people who are truly pushing for this? Who said, yes, I want you to give what little money we have to complete strangers who have violated and breached the sovereignty of our borders because of something that I can't articulate.
Because they hate Trump so much. They were more honest when Harris ran against other Democrats.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Look at her laugh.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage. But
yeah, well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator.
GovTrack's ranking of Harris was up on their site for 5 years. But once it looked like she would get the nomination, they deleted the page. When questioned about it, they said, votes from one legislative session are not sufficient to create a reliable portrait.
what can be unburdened by what has been.
Harris needs this media cover because she says weird things.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
And radical things.
Yes, we do talk about equity. We actually believe it is a good principle.
Equality and equal opportunity aren't good enough, she says.
There's a big difference between equality and equity. Equality suggests, oh, everyone should get the same amount. Equitable treatment means we all end up at the same place.
So we need more government redistribution.
Everybody should end up in the same place.
Finally, Harris embraces the word woke.
We have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke.
Boy, she never saw that one coming. She just had no idea how that word, it's like how the word gay went from happy and loving and mirthful to homosexual. You missed it. And that word woke, oh my God, it took on just a sting, and she never knew it. And she speaks in the moment, in this section of time, in this segment, without any idea of the impact of what she's saying.
What's so funny about woke?
Cause a lot of us to be woke.
She is the favorite to be our new president?
And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah.
It's upsetting that this big government opportunist and this crass egomaniac are our choices. The good news is that America's founders wisely created checks on executive power. Foolish media often say the president runs the country.
Run the country.
Run this country.
The worst person possible is running the country.
But the president runs just one of three branches of
Well,
government.
let me
each
explain
of which
it.
was designed to be able to stop the other from doing something crazy. The founders demanded limited government because they'd seen the damage done by tyrants. With these two candidates, I'm grateful for those limits on executive power.
You see what he's got to do? I got to tell you this. This is what he's got to do. You see, everybody's got to say something about Trump. He's an egomaniac. Okay? An egomaniac. Mrs. L and I were watching something last night. It was something on Netflix about, of all people, Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart, irrespective of what you like, believes, or she did so much. She absolutely was transcendental. She, in the world of, like James Beard did for cooking, and Julia Child and others, what she did, this lifestyle stuff, was incredible. She is a tyrant. Bill Ackman, hedge funder, is a tyrant. Steve Jobs was an egomaniac. Elon Musk is an egomaniac. George Washington, an egomaniac. This is a word that they use. John Stossel had to say something. People feel this obligation to say something negative about Trump. They feel like it's not enough to point. You have to point that he's an egomaniac. Do you hear him on with Joe Rogan? I don't think he's an egomaniac. Do you know what it is like to want to be the president? They're pushing her. She doesn't want this. They want this. She's the pawn. He wants this. How does somebody fight every single faction of society and have no overwhelming, powerful view of what you believe yourself to be, about what you can bring to the fore? Think about this. It's incredible. John Stossel says, I always have to say something about Trump. It's not enough. Why do you have to say this? Because deep down inside, they're afraid. They're afraid. They feel like they have to do this obligatory slam. Now, let me stop 1 second right now for you to listen to this very, very critical word from our sponsor. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. Now, I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even helped negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. The numbers of people who have shown up. This is Wisconsin, by the way. Every single time comes through. It looks like it's the same event. This is every single event. The business is doing that. They want you to understand that somehow this is a proof. They want you to believe in this idea that this is some kind of, that this is the egomaniac, that this doesn't count, that this momentum doesn't translate, because Jamie Raskin is on with Bill Maher. Look at every single day. We can't even keep track of this. Let me tell you again, one of the critical aspects of this, what's so important, is how information is provided, how information is presented, how information is disseminated. This is something, dear friends, dear and glorious friends, that I cannot put into any, I can't put this into a position of explication any better than I've done before. This is something so critical. Let me also explain. Something. I find myself, like most people, thinking, I don't believe I'm in this country. You don't have to like him. You don't have to enjoy his company. You don't have to want to meet him, or this is about the direction. This isn't some fan club thing. I'm not wearing this like people wear an article of clothing just to show, like, look how cool I am. This is about trying to redefine and regroup and reposition the focus and the direction of our country. It's like nothing that we have before us, period. And no matter what people tell you, no matter what people say, that's what it's about. And do not believe for a moment how she's doing great and there's a surge of women. No, there's not. Now there is. Now? No. He's going to win. And it could very well be, yes, it's true. It could very well be tight or close or whatever it is, that's fine. But I am telling you, dear friends, it is going to be bigger than anything anybody has ever seen. And they're going to be gobsmacked. Let me remind you also, we always talk about our great friend at mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Whenever I see Mike Lindell, I think to myself, he is still fighting. And by the way, I'm not asking you to support him and his products because he's a great American, though he is. This is some of the best stuff available. Go and look. Go to mypillow.com/Lionel, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, and see what's available. He has been there from the get-go. And they have tried to do everything in their power to destroy this man. Let me explain something again, as I think I hope I've made very, very clear. This is a group of people who are so ruthless, and it's not the people that you meet. It's not the woke neighbor or sister or brother-in-law. No. Yeah, they're just crazy. But the people behind them, the people in the shadow government, have a ruthlessness that nobody has ever been able to even remotely comprehend or understand. Make sure you understand this, dear friends. Okay, thank you. You have a wonderful day. We will see you tonight at 7 p.m. Thank you so much for joining us early. Remember, tell people to join us. Tell people to join. Tell people to come on board. Tell people to be a part of this. This is not just some fad. We're continuing. And after this election, we're going to keep going on and going on and going on. This is about the future of our republic. This is the future of our constitutional republic, not our democracy, but our republic. That's the way it is. And the choice has never been clearer. And if you have not voted, vote now. If you cannot vote now, vote Tuesday. But there is absolutely no excuse whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, the sole voice of freedom today, Raul Rodriguez, says Trump will bring to the world love, sweet love. Raul, you are so correct, my friend. So correct, and I thank you. Everybody have a wonderful day, a great day. We will see you tonight at 7 p.m. And until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.